Hi crafters, this is Nye here. So today what we are going to do is we are going to assemble our layered leprechaun clover hat house. Now, I'm going to be using my art glitter glue for all of my gluing. I also have my tweezers here to kind of help me out because there's a lot of details to this design. It's a lot of fun, but there's definitely a lot of details here. And as you can see, I've already gone ahead and I have cut out all of the pieces and I have them stacked up here in the order for gluing. Now, to get us started, the first thing that we're going to do is, because I have everything just kind of stacked here and laid out, we are going to start gluing some of the smaller pieces. And so I've just picked up the wording here, and that's just where I'm going to start. And I'm going to start gluing these down. And so I probably should have picked up my tweezers too, but I didn't do that. So I'm going to do it now. And I'm just going to kind of place this down right here in the center. So this is just kind of like the name of our house. I feel like it needed a name because everywhere that you go, like when you go on vacation, it's like all of these houses now that you rent, or like the Airbnbs or whatever, they all have like a fun name. So we needed a fun name here for our house here that we're creating. So you can see I just glued down the word Clover to the black part of the sign. I'm going to do the same thing now with the cabin wording here. And I also went ahead and I just glued it down to the actual part of the sign and the design. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing here. And you know, when you go to put this wording down, just kind of line it up in the middle of the sign here, or the part of the sign. Don't go too far to the bottom or the top or to the left and the right. Just kind of eyeball it right there in the center. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can use your judgment to line it up there. Okay, so I've got that wording down. The next part that I'm going to do here is the clover on the door, and then this fun little doorknob. Or I guess you could call it like the brass knocker. I think that's what the official name probably should be. And so again, same thing that I'm doing is I'm just picking up the pieces, adding glue here to the back, and then layering it down where I want it to go. All right, so let's put that one kind of like right there. And let's do the windows here and the shutters. There are 3 layers here to this one. Let's work this way. I was going to work from the top down, but then I changed my mind there. So we're going to just line everything up. You know, take your time when you're doing it. I just shifted that there just a little. And remember that you've got about 10 seconds when you're adding your glue before the glue completely dries there and you're stuck. So take a few moments, make sure that you've got it in that right position, and work quickly, efficiently and quickly there. All right, so this part here, it's got a lot more slots here to just kind of represent the shutters. So I'm just going to kind of be a little bit mindful of that as I add my glue. And then again, same thing, just pressing it down right on top there. And now I have to do the same thing on the opposite side. So let me flip that over. And then we're going to do this one. And so this is just fun here. It's a fun little project. It's a little different. You know, most houses aren't in the shape of a hat, but you know, think outside the box, right? Why can't it be? You know, it's a leprechaun house, right? Even though we all know leprechauns aren't real, but we can have fun with the idea of it. Okay. And again, I'm just going to add glue here to the back of this shutter part, and just being mindful of the little slats, which add just another little detail to those shutters there. Makes it a little bit unique. Okay, so the next part that I'm going to do here are all of these clovers that are part of the banner, and I'm going to cheat in doing this and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add, I'm going to start here with the flags. I'm just going to add a dab of glue like right in the center here. And then I'm going to use my push pin that I used to clog my glue. I'm going to put this over here because I keep hitting it. I'm going to use my push pin that I used to clog my glue there. And I'm just going to pick up my clovers and then press it down. And I'm going to do that for all of the pieces here. And just pressing them down, moving them around. So that way they stay. I'm going to do the same thing up here at the top. And again, I'm going to kind of eyeball where I want them to go by just adding a little dab of glue there, then in the center here, and then another one off here to the side. And then once more, just using my push pin to pick up these clovers here and then pressing them down. Okay, so that is it for like all of the really, really small pieces here. Now we're ready to just kind of glue down everything. And so I've got these layers here at the front that are going to be the door, and I'm going to work on those towards the end. I'm just going to flip them off here to the side. I'm going to flip everything off to the side. And, oh, I forgot that part. We'll do that one at the end. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up the video, and all I'm going to do is glue everything right down on top of the other. All right, here we go. Okay, so you probably saw that I just dropped that green layer, but I'm still just working on layering and gluing down all of the pieces here. And so now that I'm here working at the door, it becomes a little bit easy and not as tricky as it was to glue down this green and the orange layer. That was definitely a little bit harder because there were so many pieces that were cut out with it. So it was just a little bit more difficult there. But as you can see, once you're working with the door, the pieces are a little bit smaller, and it really just is all about just here layering one right on top of the other and just adding the glue. You also want to make sure too that when you're doing the door and you're doing this yellow and the black part, you want to make sure that you get the little parts there of the door that just add a little bit, again, more detail to it and make it look a little bit more realistic there. And then if you have any glue that seeps through, like if there's a lot, you could just use a paper towel to wipe it away. I'm going to do the same thing here now with this black layer. And again, just adding a little bit of glue right along these little black parts of the door that are going to stick out there from the layer. And again, just taking a moment, getting it lined up. When you have it there, just press it down. Make sure that you're getting the black on top of the yellow there. You can see that one definitely kind of shifted there. And once you have it, it's good to go. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing now with this last orange piece here. And again, just adding the glue. And then, whoops, I got it all on my finger there. And then we just press it down. And it's almost the last piece. We've got to add that little part to the chimney. And I think I must have moved it over there just a little bit. There we go. Okay. And That looks good. And then we'll just add this last part to the chimney, and then that will finish this off. All right, so I hope you guys enjoy crafting yours. Be sure to send me a picture, and be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and happy crafting. Thanks for watching.